playing games. This is either in your face or behind the scenes and or kept totally secret. One of the main issues that has come up deals with the idea of regional planning, local planning groups, etc. Now, there's a problem with that. One is it's secret. Number two, you're going to have somebody, and I'm not doing it, in each and every county and little area, do a lot of digging, find out who it is. And what you want to do, if you want to really throw a monkey wrench into their little fun and games plan, is to file an affidavit in federal court requesting in motion that the federal judge request these people to out their whole plan publicly as they are required to do by law, or disband. That's the first step. Second step, if these people refuse, is to those being associated with, etc., and petition the federal judge to make each and every one of those individuals severally and personally responsible for each and every last thing that they do. In short, and I'll give you a good example, one of our people mentioned an extension of a road to the advantage of a shopping center. Now, there's several things in that. One is a nice little stand of trees they'd like to keep. Another is the fact that they have a school on that road and they don't want the traffic. And the third thing is that it only benefits the shopping center. Well, there was a load of what's called eminent domain cases, and eminent domain has to be used specifically and only within public good. It has to benefit, and I mean that literally, benefit the whole of the public, or it is not to be used. This is where they can come in and say, you got to move, we're going to put a road through here, or whatever. Under that, you have a thing called a taking. And the taking portion of it deals with anything that anyone can take from you, either by mandate or law, of any value. It can be as small as a ballpoint pen. The requirement for any taking is due process. If due process is violated, then the whole of whatever is being done is moot or without force or impact as far as the law is concerned. It doesn't exist and cannot be done. Therefore, any contract or contractual arrangements of the type where they want to play games with things comes under this taking. Now, I've explained some of this in basis. Each one of the states and counties has differing time limits and conditions that deal with these things. If each person will look them up, you can generally cause your local government to act right. Now, this includes your city council when they say that they are immune because they are acting as a council, because you can hold them individually liable because they held the seat. And these sorts of things bring a lot of pressure to bear when somebody realizes that everything they own and their next 10 years of earnings are going to be applied to a sewer project because they authorized it when it shouldn't have been authorized. That does have a tendency to make things different. People stop and think before they take action. And there's a ton of this stuff out there. You can take land control. You can actually steal the ownership of land through different legal procedures. And you can have the different agencies fight among themselves. In the case of that road extension, the Transportation and Safety Administration should disagree with the idea of extension of the road to benefit the shopping center simply because it will put all of the school children in danger.
Now,
and let them fight for that.
A question on that that I have, is this the reason that sheriffs in counties in Oregon and Washington State and even California began stopping federal agencies from taking land over because the sheriffs were saying they were doing things unlawful? What is the exact reasoning behind that?
Well, that comes to the same thing as your taking without due process. Now, one of the things everybody brings up are the exceptions. Well, the NDAA says they can do anything they want. Obama says he owns everything. Federal government has all the land and all this. That's only true if you let them have it. It's only true if you agree to it. Now, the exceptions are, as I've stated, now these are very basic legal procedures and precedents, but almost everything that you can think of has been through the Supreme Court in one form or another. And those rulings set precedent. Then there are also a load of federal rulings by other federal judges that cause things to be different when those things are applied. If someone ignores something that is a traditional precedent, then that traditional precedent then can be used as the legal defense to overturn that ruling. So you're getting into a legal bag, and this legal bag is convoluted at least. It's got more detail than anybody wants to fool with. There's a reason for that. They don't want the average person to go in there and find out the truth and go hit somebody over the head with a law book. Now, the easiest way to do this is different than what everybody says. First and foremost, nobody should make a target out of themselves unless they are specifically targeted. What that person should do is find the manner in which the law itself disagrees with what is being done and how to correctly present that according to precedent and legal procedure wherever it is they reside. What this does then is it takes the target off them and makes the law argue among itself. Then the poor judge has to figure out which way to go. And that basically absolves the person of being a target, so to speak. Next.
Subsequent to what you're saying, I just want to tell everyone, Black's Law Dictionary is on the internet, so everybody can access Black Law's Dictionary and see how they define things. And I invite everyone to look up the tacit, T-A-C-I-T. Tacit consent is when you don't say anything. So you don't have to get loud, you don't have to get angry or aggressive or anything like that. All you have to do is quietly say out loud, I object to that. You are not providing remedy. You are not explaining the law to me, and the law is to be explained under your system. The law is supposed to be explained so that I can understand, so I'm not giving my tacit consent. I object, and would you please explain it to me? Would that be a way to handle it, Drake?
That's one form, yes, and it's valid. The other form is to use the Uniform Commercial Code. Uniform Commercial Code has a thing in there called preservation of rights or reservation of rights. What this deals with is that when you sign your driver's license, as an example, you are agreeing to each and every last law on all books dealing with any form of transportation. If you do not know those laws, you're subject to them unless you put reservation of rights above your signature. This is true of all contracts. Any portion of any contract that is not fully explained to the understanding of the individual signing said contract makes that contract null and void and unenforceable, and is to be treated in law as if it never existed. So, you can fight about you can do two things. You can fight different little fun and games battles for the rest of your life. In other words, each time you get a traffic ticket, you got to make sure that the judge understands that he's going to have to explain to a federal judge for his ruling against you in terms of a traffic violation. Okay? Or you can go to the root of the problem and make sure that the hidden portions of government, such as regional planning, federal zonings, they call it block locators in national forests, and things of this nature are null and void because they are not explained and they are not agreed to by anyone, specifically the owner of the property where that block might lie. That's one of the problems around national forests. The other portion of this problem deals with finance, and it's very, very direct, very simple. The people who have been running the financial systems, as everyone knows, there's been extraordinary problems. In Europe, there's been a whole load of resignations and arrests. Okay, those things have not taken place here for the simple fact that the people here were just a little smarter. They decided to take an extended foreign vacation instead of resigning. So nobody got the heads up that they were, taken off. Some of the people that have been trying this have been stopped at the border and their credentials checked, and they've kept their passport and told them to go home. So the financial part of this is very simple. Due to the fact that the present banking system can no longer rape small foreign countries for their wealth, they are limited to the funds on hand. Now, those funds on hand have been stolen, leveraged, borrowed, and securitized away from what are called collateral world or global accounts. This was without permission, and the whole thing is a farce and is illegal. These things are being addressed. Now, what this means is this, very simply. The banks, not us, not the people, they're the ones that get to pay it back. It's not the people that are declaring bankruptcy, but the financial corporate system. That's a separation between us and them. Very simply, what is about to take place is going to upend the apple cart totally. And this, I'll say again, is in progress. Now, the other part of this is the arrests, and I'm going through this for a reason. Everybody needs to hear it. The arrests, or taking into custodies, or sweep, house cleaning, whatever you want to call it, are not going to come much lower than governor level, if that. And you think about how many people, that's a lot, and that's a lot for anybody to handle. After that sweep is done, the locals, and that's the people that live where you live, you're going to have the possibility of dealing with people who are a part of that mess. You're going to have the possibility of finding out who's who in terms of whether or not they understand and abide by the Constitution. Now, some of these people have been forced. They don't want to watch their families be tortured to death before they get around to them. Consequently, they go along with the program. They play the game. So therefore, you're going to have some good guys that were, and they may be able to even prove that they were coerced or forced to take certain actions that they did not want to take. These people, I would say, should get off lighter than a lot of the other ones. The simple clerk, who all they did was file paperwork, also needs to have the same sort of consideration. But breaking this back, the communities involving individuals, small towns, counties, things of this nature, are going to become critical for two reasons. One is self-survival, self-preservation. You like to eat? I mean, it gets down to that simple. The second part of it is this. The people will be seeing several different structural plans for a governance in this country. It's going to be hinged on and primarily put together just a little differently, but it's very similar to what we originally had. The understanding I have of the plan is twofold. The federal government per se, or as everybody knows it now, primarily is going. You don't need it. Where do you think your taxes have been going? It's been going to a combination of the salaries of those people and in the banker's pocket. Period. What's going to happen? The finances are going to be turned back to the Treasury. This is a big difference. Okay.
Right.
So then, secondly, you're going to have the other part of us